Hey everybody, George Moorhead with Bentley Properties, and we're going to go through the December market update. We're going to cover kind of where we've been so far this year and where we see ourselves going. We'll talk about kind of the Northwest MLS as a whole, and we can break down the different counties or different cities, and then of course different communities themselves, or what we call neighborhoods. And those can be broken out. Just make a simple request. We'll fire them off to you because each one is just a little bit different and unique to itself. So with that, I just want to let you know we did our absolutely amazing donation to Seattle Children's Hospital. There is no greater honor than being able to lead with generosity to help others. And, you know, when we can take the opportunity to help save a child's life, to really give them that opportunity that we've all enjoyed and give them that second chance. You just can't buy those smiles. You know, it's much like when, you know, like this last week, we've helped out 5 different clients with a variety of different things. And, you know, it took about an hour and a half with each one. But, you know, we were able to, you know, really, you know, give some great help, you know, solve some issues just before Thanksgiving and whatnot, which was awesome. And so with that, I just want to say thank you to all of our clients this year for helping and making the donation that we do absolutely successful and amazing. So to all of you, thank you very much. So with that, let's talk a little bit about our market. Where are we going? What have we seen? What is going to be trending? What do we see happening, you know, between now and the end of the year? And then what's going to happen in Q1 of 2020, first quarter for all of those. So with that, let's talk a little bit about homes for sale. So our homes for sale year over year actually dropped. And that's not surprising because as we go through this, you're going to see that we've had some more homes going under contract, even though our sales have, you know, basically kind of slowed off a little bit. But our actual number of homes that are for sale actually dropped almost 30%, it's 27.2. Over last month, our inventory dropped 18.5%, all right? So when we talk about the sold listings, now these are homes that have closed. So again, because we're always looking in the rearview mirror, what we're looking at are the sales that actually happened in October, well, went pending in October and late September. Again, that increase is expected, okay? Kids are back in school. Vacations are kind of over. The focus is, hey, you know what? It's time to get that home. And so that is a natural sales cycle trend for us. So nothing earth shattering. The only difference is, you know, we've seen some slightly different numbers in a positive direction. So with that, our sold listings themselves, they're actually down year over year, only 1.5%. Okay, well, that's pretty nominal. Last month, we were at 17.8%, a little bit lower. Well, again, that's not surprising. Again, because as that comes in and as the buyers are actually entering into the market and some are pulling back, and also depending on inventory, which played a big factor in this one, it's not surprising that it was down month over month. This one here, this is the pending sales. So our pending sales were actually up 19.4%. Now, you might be saying, George, what happened? Why all of a sudden do we see this massive increase over, you know, when we talk about year over year for pending sales? Well, if you remember last year, the interest rates were quite a bit higher, okay? So today, you can buy almost 12% more home or a 12% less mortgage for the same price of home than what you were last year. That has a huge impact, okay? And so buyers are capitalizing on that. And as we take a look, you know, even though it was down a little bit, you know, almost 10% month over month, it's not a big deal, okay? So let's take a look at what this really kind of means in a simpler fashion. So in 2018, we had 2.3 months of inventory, okay? Whoop, right here. Now, same time this year, we're at 1.7 months. So we've gone from this to this. So we're getting back in closer to where we were where we were seeing all the multiple offers and whatnot. We're getting back in closer to that level of inventory, okay? So the absorption rate, and if we think about it as a sponge, So right now that sponge is taking in a lot more. It's absorbing more, okay? Inventory is dropping, pending sales have come up, our inventory has come down. The two are proportional. So with that, that's an excellent sign that we're seeing that we're still in a healthy market, albeit still very flat, because as we roll over and we take a look at our average days on market, which is a very good trend of when we take a look at of when a seller and a buyer agree. What is that timeline in days before they agree? Well, in 2018, it was 41 days. And in 2019, it's 40 days. So it's just a tad bit less. That's an average, okay? So our sold versus list price right here, actually, we went up. Now you might say, George, is that good? Well, that's excellent. That means we went up 1%. That means that the original list price of a seller and where the buyer felt that the value of the home in their perception is more closely matched. Now, part of that, sellers started to realize, hey, I can't just continue to do this pie in the sky. We need to moderate our price. So what we're doing is we're closing this gap, which says, hey, the buyers are saying the value and the sellers are being realistic in value. And so that gap is closing, which is excellent. Last year was 96%, meaning that gap between buyer and seller agreeing on value was farther apart. Today, they're closer together. All right. When we talk about the average list price of the Northwest MLS, the average list price this year was $765,000 versus last year at $690,000. So it was roughly about a 10% change in value year over year. Now, again, that's the average, all right? However, month over month, our values really are neutral. So again, as predicted, we're staying relatively flat, which is, again, as expected, and, doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It just means that this time of year, we tend to stay more neutral. That's perfectly fine. The average sold price. So the average sold price in today is $546,000. Last year it was $506,000, or a change of 7.9%. Again, this is where a buyer and a seller mutually agree on a price, and based on that, month over month, again, it's very neutral. So these two, average list price, average market time, again, are staying relatively flat. There's not much movement in that. Again, very normal. So when we take a look at what kind of market are we at right now? Okay, so we normally look at a seller market, a buyer market, or do we have a neutral market? Well, we've got a lot of signs here. The key one is that our listings are down, the absorption rate is higher, but our months of inventory is lower. What that is trending to, check my box, is the seller's market. Okay? Again, supply and demand. Our inventory is lower. Buyer activity, with our sales being up, pending sales being up 19%, right? That shows us that the buyers are coming back into the market, that they are capitalizing not only on price, because again, buyer and seller are starting to agree closer based on our numbers, and we also have less inventory, so they're becoming a little more aggressive. Mortgage interest rates are they're back down to where they were. I would say probably in the 2016, 2017. So there's a lot of incentives for buyers to get back in. And then, of course, sellers are reaping that benefit. So it has become more of a seller's market. Again, 30-year pricing today, par pricing today is 3.75%. That's excellent. For those of you that are looking at buying a condo, just understand there's an add-on in rate, I should say. Sometimes that's as high as 0.25%. Again, remember, it's based on risk. And then, of course, if you're doing multifamily or a second home, there's going to be a little bump in rate, or what we call an add-on. We'll meet with either Dan Golden or Snell Pereira. We'll go through kind of how to understand what those are and figure out pricing. With that, if you need to get a vendor for painting, for plumbing, for a roof, to have things done, remember, BentleyContractors.com, www.bentleycontractors.com. vetted list. There's no login, there's no nothing. You just go there, you pick the service that you want. Feel free to give those guys a call. Just let them know that we sent you. That way you get our pricing. All right. So with that, if you have any questions, definitely put it up above. Let us know. We've had some really great questions and whatnot, which is awesome. We love to answer questions. We lead with generosity. Again, there's no strings attached. If you have a question, ask us. We'll be more than happy to help you out. If you want a full report in your community, let's say you're in Lake Hills or you're in Medina, maybe you're down in Twin Lakes, down in Federal Way, or maybe in Bothell or Mill Creek area, and you want a more specific to my area report, just let us know. We'll fire it off to you. We keep a very tight understanding of all of the metrics that are going on every single day, every single week, every single month, and then of course every single year, right? So we'll get that off to you. Again, no strings attached. Shoot me an email, shoot me a text, give me a call. Either way. In the meantime, you guys have a beautiful day, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.